Building the life of your dreams is going to be hard. You're going to go through seasons where you're going to be working extended hours. You're going to be pushing through discomfort, and the real balance isn't the purpose, it isn't the goal. Progress is going to be the goal for trying to create a life that you can be proud of and a life of success and building the life that you ultimately want. And so in today's video, just kind of want to go over um, what balance is, maybe some lies and misconceptions about balance, maybe that society has imparted on us, because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people saying, find balance. And I want to go over three topics with you that I've used in my life that kind of helped me in some ways, not really balance my life, because as I mentioned, we all go through certain seasons. It's really about being focused in those seasons um, to just kind of help manage it as you're going through those difficult times. And whatever it is, it can be a variety of different things. So one of the things that you guys might be more aware of is motivation. And so just to put it bluntly, motivation is bullshit. It's very unreliable. I often think about motivation as like emotional gasoline. It burns fast, and it dries up very quickly. You know, if you've ever felt like you've been really motivated one week where you're just on it and you're having an amazing week, and then the next week you're feeling very drained. That's motivation really coming and going. So it's not something that you can really rely on. One thing that I've tried to do in my life, as I've over the last 5 6 years really devoted myself to personal development and self-growth to become the person that I've always envisioned myself to be, is creating systems will help build structure. It'll help build your habits in the lives that will ultimately help you take action. And so when you're going through these seasons, action is going to be the desired outcome, because it's very easy when you're going through certain seasons to really get caught up in whatever's going on in your life. And so for me personally right now, expecting our second child. And so I know my season really soon, any day now, is going to be, little sleep, dealing with a newborn and, almost a 2-year old, all in the same breath. And I only personally get, 3 weeks of vacation during this time. Obviously, my wife gets a little bit longer. And so my bonding time is going to be a little bit longer than my first one. And so the season is going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be fast. And, after the 3 weeks is up, I'm going to be expected to go back to my workplace and try to, reestablish balance in my work and in my personal life with my wife and my kids. And that's a tough one. So I've already started to preemptively create a system about how I can, and it's very monotonous. I won't lie to you. It's not like I don't enjoy sitting down, like writing out like a time of, okay, I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. I'm going to stretch from 4 to 4:30. I'm going to then go for a run. I'm going to fit in my exercise. I'm going to, feed the baby from, because, my wife and I take shifts. If, it's like, hey, from like 12 to 6 in the morning, I'm the one getting up, doing all of the bottles and waking the kid up for feeding time. And she'll do the opposite. So stuff like that. And so again, that stuff is not super comfortable for a lot of people. It's not like and again, it can be with anything. So, but that's my current season. So if you're in a season of like work, maybe you're fighting for a promotion at your job, it's about communicating to, maybe you have a wife or a husband or a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, family members. It's about communicating to them that, hey, I'm going through a season, and there's going to be a period of time where I'm going to be very focused. I'm going to be very dialed in, and creating these systems will help you succeed in that. It'll help you get more structured, be more consistent, and ultimately create whatever sort of quote unquote balance that you can find when you're going through a season where it's just going to be a grind. And the grind's not a bad thing. The grind, it's used a lot in society, especially, when you're doing, when you're watching people in the personal development space, the grind, I get it. And, but it doesn't have to be a full out grind. It can be something that is, I won't say easily managed, but something that can definitely be manageable if you have the right systems in place. And so motivation, it's bullshit. Um, I'm not saying that it can't help you every once in a while, but please don't rely on motivation. Motivation comes and goes so fast. And if you allow your feelings to dictate what you do, you will ultimately find yourself, being in the same place 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, when really you could be a lot further along. So that's the number one. Number two is clarity, and clarity comes from action. And the nice thing about when you're building these systems, you're building systems that get you more structure, get you more discipline. That is what helps produce action. It's clarity, it's action over reflection. Because I've been that type of person, I've been the type of person that reflects too much. It's that old saying, like, paralysis by analysis. I used to sit down, and I mean, even like, this is, this is kind of some of the top, some of the writing I did just to kind of keep me on track with some of my videos, because when I started this channel, is very much like, not like all the way scripted. It's certainly all my words. It's just really like being rigid with it, and that's why in this format I'm trying to be a little bit more loose flowing with it, and trying to not make it feel so like, oh, I didn't say that correctly, I got to restart. You know what I mean? So clarity comes from action, not reflection. And like I said, definitely been the type of person that wants to know everything I need to know before I used to be that type of person. Like, I need to know everything I need to know before I take action. Again, with this YouTube channel, I created, I think it's been maybe almost 3 years. And that first year, I think I created one video, and that was because I I just planned and I planned and I planned, and I was waiting for the right time. And the right time in my eyes at the time was, I'm not ready because I don't know everything. I don't know, like, if I post this video, I just, it's gonna flop, or it's, or maybe I'm not good enough. And so all the things that can plague our mind and plague our ability to just get shit done. and and that's reflection. So clarity will come from the systems that you create in your life. So focus on building systems that will ultimately help you create more discipline, more structure in life. The structure and discipline will help you stay consistent with the actions you're taking, which will in turn help you get more clarity in your life in the season that you're going to be in. It'll help you be able to recognize what you need to focus on during these times, rather than just kind of, and there's nothing wrong with going with the flow. In my relationship, I'm the go with the flow kind of guy to some degree. Like, it's not like I have no plan, but then my wife is like, from 6 to 4 p.m., here's exactly what we're doing. And there's I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way. It's really whatever way works best for you, but most certainly will help you to build systems that have more structure and build discipline in your life, so that you can have clarity about what's going on in your life and what season you're actually in and what you need to devote yourself to. Because it's your life, it's your decisions. And if you're trying to build something that you're proud of, successful, be the man or the woman that your family needs you to be. These are all very important, at least from my perspective. So that's number two, clarity. Clarity comes from the action you take and the systems you build. Number three is failure. Failure is, there's like a negative connotation to failure, I feel like, and there doesn't have to be, because failure is a byproduct of taking action. You're going to build the systems, you're going to get clarity, and then when you start taking relentless action towards building the life that you want to build, as you navigate those seasons to ultimately find balance, you're going to have a lot of failures, and failure isn't your stopping point. You're only a failure if you quit. And in my life, I've most certainly had those times where, if I would have stuck with it, because I've always, I take, again, just put this YouTube channel as the forefront. Like, I always thought about wanting to start a YouTube channel, but why did I never do it? Because I just didn't have the discipline. I didn't have the all the necessary skills, the structure in place to just take, messy action. I mean, I hear that all the time from people. It's like, you just start messy. As long as you just get starting, on whatever it is that you're doing, you aren't a failure, and you will fail, but it's not that you're a failure. It's just you're gonna fall down, and that's where like reflection can come in into play. Is like, okay, I'm going to take action. I've got clarity on the action I'm going to take, and then I'm starting to slowly build the discipline, and all that stuff snowballs. And then when you do meet a failure, it's reflecting on, okay, well, what happened? Well, what do I need to change moving forward to prevent this failure? And then you do the thing, and then you're going to fail again, and you're going to just continue to rinse and repeat that until you ultimately get to what the a desired outcome would be, and what the ultimate goal is actually is to ultimately find balance at some point. um, you'll be in a situation where you're gonna you're gonna have to manage to the best of your ability the season that you're in. And this, you could call that balance, but really balance is like finally the pinnacle of, okay, I've got my health, I've got my job in a place I want it, I've got my family, where I want it. I've got the relationships I want, they're nurtured, all that stuff is in sync. That's balance. But they're not all going to happen at the same time, right? Most, like, let's say you're a college student coming out of university. You got your piece of paper that says I can do the thing, but you're not going to be catapulted into that 80, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 job. You're going to start entry level. What does that look like? It looks like, a lot of grinding. And, there might be people out there that do it faster than others. And that's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean you're any less of a person than that person. It doesn't mean you're smarter. It doesn't mean you're dumber. It doesn't mean you're less capable. Everyone has the same recipe and the same necessary skills within them given to us by God to make all this happen in your lives. It's really just a matter of how much are you willing to sacrifice in these seasons to get there. And that's the moral of the story here, guys. It's like, don't get yourself too caught up in just finding balance when you're going through these seasons. Focus on, don't let your feelings dictate what you're going to do, right? Motivation is bullshit. Find clarity. You'll find clarity by taking action. You're not going to find clarity sitting in front of in a dark room, or, constantly writing down, all the things that you want to achieve, and then don't take action on them. That's not how you're going to get there. Failure. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure is actually the road. Like, that's the process of becoming the person and building the life that you want and foresee. You got to fail. You got to reflect on the failures and constantly just go back and forth with all these things. I've got earlier videos when I finally did start to just take messy action on my YouTube channel. It started because I had just coming out of a really bad depression, and I wanted to use it as a way to sort of hold myself accountable. And, it was very messy. It was vulnerable. And, I still got a lot of what I did here tracked in my journal, but, that's what it takes. And you just have to take that action to ultimately find that clarity and pursue the person that you're trying to be, for your family, for yourself, for God. And, I do believe these things will help you. So, write this down if you want to. Take the stuff and internalize it, not for too long, because obviously paralysis by analysis. I don't want you to not take action on these things, and give it a shot. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If there's any one of these 3 topics that we discussed that you feel like will help you the most, I'd love to talk with you about it. I love seeing the comments in the comment section, just kind of discussing ideas, all that great stuff. So again, just wanted to do a little bit different format. It's been a while since I posted, so excited to get back into posting more regularly here, and just getting in front of you guys and helping you and helping me grow throughout this crazy journey that we call life. And I'm looking forward to making more videos in the near future. So thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.